With me here is Adekemi Lucy Adetuwo-Olaniyi, who is also an activist, a humanitarian and advocate for women and children. She's also the founder of Luciano Global Development Initiative in Nigeria. Please, can you tell us what Luciano Global Development Initiative is all about?
Yeah, Luciano Global Development Initiative is into humanitarian services, focus on the young ones and the children and the parents at the same time. Those who are supposed to be in school, who are not in school, we cater for them and their well-being, their welfare, education, and school uniform, everything that has to do with them, we do that for them. Okay. And at the same time, we give hope to those like the street ones, the street people, those to rehabilitate majority of people that we see on the road.
Yes.
There was a time we usually pick one or two people on the street. It's a young woman and a girl. On this particular street, they normally rape her, abuse her, do all sorts of things. And a lot of people tried as much as possible to assist, but they couldn't. But when Luciano Global Development Initiative, stormed into her and we assisted her. We thank God she is into good condition now. And I want to tell us that she's actually in a good state now. And she's actually teaching in that rehabilitation center now, with a lot of visits that we pay to them.
So what is your inspiration? What inspired you to become an advocate for women and children?
It's so funny that in the history of my family, we love giving, doing, assisting, giving hope to people, despite the fact that we don't have much. But we try as much as possible to give little out of what we have. 2004 to 2005, I was a copper in Lokoja, Kogi State. When it was about 2 months to finish my service year, I looked at my children and, I teach them computer and what have you. So I looked at them, I said, look, these children, they don't have computer in the school. How on earth we didn't know what computer is all about?
Yes.
And what I did then, I told them, you need to talk to parents, you need to talk to your uncle, anybody you have around you to assist. And when they got home, they came back the following day, they were like, my uncle said, I will support you to get the computer set.
Wow.
I said, that's loose. Interesting. Interestingly, I now looked at other things, other items, other projects that I needed to add to it. And I added other 9 items. They don't have school library in that particular school. They don't have a lot of things. So I have to add 9 projects. Computer set, educational chart, library. I have to build library for them, chairs, table, books for them, school flag, national flag, and then I constructed the school logo in the school compound at the same time. Funnily, when I was sourcing for this fund, I needed up to like $1 million when I was sourcing for it. And I got to a place, they looked at me from head to toe, they were like, we can't assist this kind of person. I was going to collect the money and just go off with the money. And I looked at them and said, well, I'm not like that. So many of my colleagues too, they were like, I should take half of the money, eat it, then use the remaining half to do this particular project. I said, no, I don't do that. I have to embark on that. That particular organization, office I entered, they first gave promise to give 80,000. Well, nearly looking at me, they said I will eat the money, and they gave 40,000. I don't mind. I knelt and I was thanking them. But it was in the process when we were moving, as I was constructing, they were like, Kopake, what were you doing there? What are you trying to do? What kind of thing is that? I said, don't worry. The kind of thing I'm doing, you will know later. It was when I now finished. I invited them for the commissioning. The governor of the state was there. So, call the long story short, I was the second couple of the year. And people were like, and this, earned me state and merit award at the same time. So, yes, I need to put more effort. If I can't be talking to people and the young ones listen to me with keen interest, and basically the young ones that I speak with, they always see one or two things in whatever thing that comes out. I don't know why it's like that. Like I told you, 2004, if I tell you that till now, they still call on me, you'll be surprised. They went as far as going to Facebook, to go and source for, the name, and they're calling me. To the extent they were crying. I was like, he said, what you have taught us, we are still in, we still make do with them.
Okay, you are also an author. Can you tell us about your book and why did you write them?
The book aimed towards teenagers, it's called Dilemma of the Adolescent, a guide for the growing boys and girls. That is how to manage themselves, how girls are supposed to project and behave whenever they get to maybe the opposite sex, what they are to do, how boys can manage themselves at the same time, to make a good person, to make a good being for themselves. It's so funny that majority of our girls these days, they lack and the ability to say no to certain things. And that thing is very key. When you learn to say no and your no is no, it gives you edge. And you are able to stand in a convincing manner that I said no and that my no is no. So these are the things that are in that particular book that is a kind of mentorship. It mentors the young ones on how to derail and how to tell their character, how to behave towards the opposite sex, and at the same time what to do when it comes to education.
So how do you get these children, maybe when you, in your organization, in your NGO, how do you recruit these children and the kind of services you render to them? How do you get them?
Well, in most cases, is the trust. One or two persons identified us, call on us whenever they see these children.
Okay.
Aside the one that we identified ourselves. Just like in some years back, let's say 2-3 years now, a particular person came from Kenya to do internship with us in our organization. It was based on trust. They see children and they call on us and we do the needful by calling the Ministry of Youth and Social Development to assist in that particular area. Because for now, we don't have a center for them for now.
You don't have a center for them for now?
For now.
So how do you manage children at risk and how do you engage their parents?
Yes. The indigenous children we focus on, we gather them, then we do lessons for them.
Okay.
Teach them on either mathematics, English, or any other subject that has to do. It could be, at times, we do mentorship for them too at the same time and try to educate them and sensitize them in the aspect of any area that we feel is in need for them, precisely.
Okay.
So we gather them, we gather the parents too at the same time, and we try to do the sensitization we needed to do for them.
So what is your target population?
The target population, the children within the age of 0 to 17, and the women too at the same time.
Okay, can you tell us about your greatest challenge so far?
When you're talking about challenge is funding is one of the key things there. Last month we did on language, mother tongue. We went to schools to sensitize children to there and the young youth at the same time. The funding aspect is key. If there is funding, we are very eager and we are very ready to work to do anything, and, especially the funding to pay staff, to pay volunteers, to get even space, office space for ourselves. Because presently now, the office we are using now is we are asked to, walk away from that particular office because the landlord wants to use that particular place we are. So right now we are in need of that space seriously. So at least it helps even the children too. When we are able to get a place, we can get vocational skills for these children, and because we have so many of them that are into one or two handwork.
Do you have psychologists or psychiatrists as staff who help you with rehabilitation for these children?
I would say yes and I would say no. Why do I say yes? We have volunteers, that are into such thing. And at the same time, while I said yes, is governments, that is the Ministry of Youth and Social Development, they are the one we normally direct our children to in most cases. Whenever we see them like that, we carry them from wherever we see them and take them down to the ministry. Okay. And we do mentorship, monitoring. We monitor them as much as possible to see their welfare, to know how they are moving on step by step in everyday activities.
Okay, running these daily activities, how do you get your funding?
Funding, in most cases, 90% of our funding is individual.
Wow.
Majority of other donor, other friends, colleague that sees our social media, that sees us on any of our media, they tend to like, how do you do it? But I bet you when you are sleeping in your house, I don't sleep. I try to put 1 + 1 together to see how it will better the organization. So we meet 1 or 2 persons. I'm in need of something. If they give us the donation for it, if it is 20, if it is 50 or 500, they donate for us and we run our program. Judy, accountability is key. And those are the things that give us an edge to run this particular. And that is why majority of them were so comfortable with us and they're very happy to release their money and give us something to run the organization.
So are you open for partnerships?
Why not? We are very, very open for that.
Okay.
We are open for that at any if it is now, immediately now as I'm talking, I'm ready for that because I'm ready to work. I'm the kind of person that loves to work. You see me never work on if I don't have money. But when I have this money, I'm happy and very happy to work.
I can see that in you.
Thank you.
Please, can you tell us your website and also your social media handles, just in case someone or maybe people wants to make donations or need your assistance?
Okay. We are on Facebook, and our Facebook page is Luciano Global Development Initiative.
Okay.
We are on Instagram at the same time. Our Instagram name is Luciano Global Development. The development is not fully spelled development. It's spelled DEVT. DEVT. That is Luciano Global Development. Okay. The website page name is lucianoglobal.org.ng.
Okay. Thank you very much for joining our program today.